good morning. Hi to Neena Dasgupta, who is the CEO of Zirca Digital, based in Mumbai. Hello.
Hi, Rose, and hi, everybody.
Well, thank you for joining us. Last month, you were named as the co-female tech trailblazer, and Zirca Digital has been a winner as a big data trailblazer in the past. So double congratulations are in order.
Thank you.
And it's great that you're able to join us here and share a little bit of your experiences. So I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Well, I'm a mother of two.
Mm-hmm.
I am an extremely ambitious, career-minded woman who has managed to strike a great balance. I'll never use the word perfect, doesn't exist, but a great balance between managing a life with my family, doing things that I love doing, and building a business that I've till now successfully managed to grow, and also chase spirituality whenever I get some time, read a lot of that. So that's me in a nutshell. I am me is what I say, and these are the other avatars of me, which is a mom, a professional, a wife, a daughter.
Got you. And as a female entrepreneur, because aside from the work you do for Zirca, you're also an advisor as well on the other side of that. Could you tell us a little bit about the other side of your business activity?
So we have a broadcasting business called ADAM, which one represents a significant amount of small TV broadcasters within the country and does their monetization for them, works on their sales strategy, GTM, their trade marketing. It also brings into the country great broadcast technology. For instance, we are the exclusive partners of IMD, headquartered out of London, in fact, for digital distribution of beta tapes, which is now digital assets, the TV commercial. So I, in fact, not only am an advisor, I'm now actually the group CEO. I've taken on that mandate as well to help the company grow. So as an advisor or now as a group CEO, I've given them strategic direction in terms of what to anticipate in the market in the future, how to deal with broadcasting challenges and constraints and still strive to grow and continue to grow. It's more focused on solution packaging. What are the different kind of solutions and creative solutions that will succeed and work? So my role as an advisor has been to enable growth in revenues and enable growth in profits for the organization.
Got you. And as an entrepreneur, particularly as a female entrepreneur, what have you found particularly challenging?
The challenge is to get good and stay consistently good at what you're doing. I think that's a challenge, more so for a female entrepreneur. It doesn't matter actually whether you're a man or a woman, I'd say. But as a mother of two children, the only constraint for me is to finish my work in the least possible time within office hours, and that has been meaning I don't see I see that as my biggest positive challenge, saying how do I organize myself and how do I finish my work on time so that I can get back home to be with my family. You don't have the luxury to get to the soft work. You cannot do things like extending discussions. You have to be super focused on what the agenda is, what you're doing. But this has also made me super efficient, sharp, and sometimes extremely demanding of my colleagues. And that's where I've seen at times the challenge as a woman entrepreneur. As a woman, I've learned that the male colleagues will often take your strong views as an emotional response, even if they're backed by the strongest logic and even if there's tremendous prudence in them. They're just used to the they just attribute it to societal stereotypes, if I might use the word. And I don't know if I can be proud about this because it's kind of sad. But to get my way, I've learned to implement social skills that make my being a woman impervious to men. We all have to learn basically and fine tune our game to survive and succeed. I think it's I've kind of stopped focusing too much on the fact that I'm a woman entrepreneur, and I think being an entrepreneur comes with its challenges. What I experience them as challenges. When when I see the odd behavior, I make sure that I respond in the right way, because these challenges are going to continue to be there.
Well, being an entrepreneur is not easy anyway. And what are you particularly proud of that you've achieved on your journey so far?
Well, I'm tremendously proud of two lovely kids I've raised, despite being someone who has given equal preference to career. My kids now 18 and 13. My son is 18. My daughter is 13. Have turned out really well. They're independent. They're smart. As far as academics is concerned, they're way ahead of the curve. They're creative. Both of them are hugely into music, into sports, into fitness. And they have always encouraged me to go the extra way. They have always felt so proud of what I am and what I do. It makes you want to keep going. So I'm tremendously proud of the way I have actually managed to handle myself at work and at home, of how I have had the support, tremendous support and encouragement of my family. And I must have done something right growing up, because they take immense pride in what their mother is doing, and contribute so much around home to make sure that I don't get bogged down or caught. Meaning, even now, I don't have a very big house, but I'm working from home. They've given me total space. Make sure that I have completely my professional time while I'm working from home. So I am extremely proud of that. And I'm also proud of my resilience, the attitude of not giving up. I'm someone who's always been extremely positive. I always tend to the good side. Having said that, I'm not foolhardy. I'm also conscious of the downsides, but I'll always choose the path that tells me that there is an opportunity. I'm therefore also extremely proud of my resilience, which is why I have actually managed to build Zirca and take it to this height and scale today.
Great. And from your perspective, diversity inclusion, why are they important for startups in particular, but for business in general?
I think it is, and it always will be important, startup or not. I think it's our diversity as human beings that brings specific values to any organization. Each one of us brings our own strengths. Each one of us brings our own abilities and life experiences to the workplace. I think without diversity, we'd be dead or stagnant. What makes great ideas bubble to the surface. I think it's what gets different perspectives to an argument. It leads to a better solution. And diverse organizations tend to be more successful simply because of the contribution that comes from these people and individuals. However, we've been talking a lot about diversity and inclusion. Some of the things that I believe in significantly in the inclusion part is that we always take differently abled people, and we take people from different segments of the society who are not otherwise offered a job very easily. So there are two examples in our organization. One is of a man who was recruited as a driver, who we trained, and he now runs the operations for one of our key businesses, doing really well. We made sure he studied, he got his college degree. He's been with us for now about 9 years.
Yeah.
But for us, it was bringing inclusion meant providing opportunities to people who otherwise won't get opportunities. There was another girl, we did the same. She came from an extremely impoverished family, but was highly creative. And she's also differently abled. So we trained creative part. We gave her a lot of courses. We gave her, provided mobility by giving her a vehicle. She today is a significant contributor in our art department. So I believe inclusion is more from giving opportunities and getting the best out of people. We bring women back to workforce after they have taken a maternity break. We usually go and hunt for them, people who have had great past, and bring them back. So for us, inclusion is about making it worth the while for the organization and for people who haven't had opportunities in the past. And we have, as a company, we have always followed diversity and inclusion, whether it's capabilities, whether it's religion, whether it's differently able people, whether it's male female ratio. We've always believed in it. It's just come inherently. We haven't had to plan it.
No, but embracing that.
Yeah.
So, what words? Obviously, you've been named our female trailblazer this year, along with another wonderful lady. So, what words of encouragement would you give to other female entrepreneurs, CXOs in startups as they're weighing up whether they should enter these types of awards?
One of the key messages and words of encouragement I'll give, or advice from my side, is love yourself, believe in yourself, and do not give away the authority to someone else to approve you or approve of the things that you do. And I think that is where second guessing comes in. If you take control of the self totally, your second guessing will go. And more than 80% of your problems, your confidence issues, all of that will disappear. So believe in yourself, but more importantly, love yourself. To keep your authority of judging yourself to your own self. Do not keep going and seeking suggestions and advice from people, because you know what? You'll never get the right one. What is the right one is right within of you. Go ahead and always place yourself in the limelight. You may be asocial, but these are behaviors that can be changed. Don't say I can't do it, or don't say I wasn't born with it, because there is no such thing that I wasn't born with it. Of course, you can, you're born with a personality, but you can bring some changes to your behavior. So seek the limelight. Do not play small ever. And these awards will do primarily, according to me, 2-3 things for you. One, it'll actually tell you where you stand in your category. It doesn't matter which award, it doesn't matter what kind of award. But every award will tell you where you stand in your category. It will always encourage you to keep going, because there isn't much of that coming. Every morning when you wake up, you usually wake up with challenges, right? As an entrepreneur. So it will always encourage you to keep going, and it will always turn the focus on you. The minute you put yourself in the space of an award, which always helps the business, invariably helps the business. So go out there, seek your award, and stay happy.
Right. And that sounds like good advice for startup leaders generally. Obviously, we're facing very interesting times, to coin a phrase. What do you think is going to help people to survive in the current economic climate with all the uncertainty we're seeing?
Each of you will have to determine your own solution, your own system of trying to brace this economic downturn. But I'll tell you a few things that I'm looking at very clearly. One is you have to very critically focus on conserving cash, because profitability needs to remain key. But given that there is revenue impact expected, one, become extremely conscious of your cash flows, significantly conscious, because what happens today is going to impact your cash flows 3 to 4 months down the line. You may not feel its impact because your money is coming in, but it will stop coming in after a while. Two is fast and effective adjustments are the key. Remain agile. Try and anticipate what you see are the economic opportunities, because with every downturn come opportunities. Try and anticipate what those opportunities are. What are the industries that are going to come up on the back of these opportunities, and how is your solution relevant for those industries? Get a solution up and running, test it, and have a market outreach plan to make sure that your cash flows don't get impacted in the long run, so that you have some new business that you're bringing in thanks to the opportunities that the downturn has provided. Three is, of course, your leadership. How are you steering the ship, and how are you conducting yourself in the wake of the crisis is going to be very, very critical. Your leadership at this point needs to be very strong, very calm, very resilient. There is a huge amount of instinct that will play, but there is a significant amount of actions that are going to play a role now. You have to define your outcomes that you desire in the next, according to me, 18 to 24 month plan, but with 3-month planning windows. And make sure that you keep doing something and make your teams do something consistently, because it's consistency and it's action that's going to make you come closer to your outcomes that you desire. So make sure that you put your outcomes out there as a leader and keep sharing that with your team so that your team stay aligned. One of the most critical things is that person who is at the bottom of the organization chart, make sure that even that person knows what your plans are for the organization. You may believe they don't play a role, but every individual plays a role in the organization. And make sure that that everyone is informed of your plan and is informed of what the organization is going through, and make the teams a part of your entire agenda. They may be mundane in their roles, but they're critical in your success. So these are my advice for general entrepreneurs, especially at this time of COVID.
Very good, very good. And one of the things I shared with you is Sequoia Capital gave advice to startup leaders. And I think one of the things that came out of that is to look at the Darwin premise of those who survive are not the strongest or the most intelligent, but the most adaptable to change.
Yeah.
Really important words at this time, and very much to look at cash flow, look at, expecting to see some possibly significant drop in turnover, in revenue, and costs, are kept in check. So keep the organisation healthy as it weathers this particularly turbulent storm.
Yeah.
So, looking beyond that, looking to the future, what's next for you, Neena?
Well, there are a few things. One is, of course, this business itself. We're expanding. We're launching in other markets very soon, Southeast Asia and London, actually. I may have to delay it a bit given the current situation, but that's there on the cards. And I'm also now working on my next business plan, which is to bring back women in the workforce by ensuring that we don't lose them to maternity. I have managed to do it well. My assumption is that 1 out of 2 of everyone who drops out will be able to do well if we can provide them the right support and the right help. So I'm currently working on that plan, and it's something where we'll work with HR of the organizations and provide for counseling, provide for direction, and also provide for childcare. So that's next. That's one of my dream one of my dream plans. And let's hope I can bring it to life in the next couple of years.
Well, it's definitely important. And certainly what I've seen is one is to get women into the tech industry. Then keep them in there. As I say, moving forward, that's an important thing as we all juggle our various responsibilities and, very, very nice duties and challenges they are too.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate that. And do keep us posted on, how things progress, and wishing you the best of luck in your new and your existing endeavours.
Thank you so much, Rose.
All right. Well, thank you very much to Neena there, Dasgupta, who is our female tech trailblazer of the year. We'll speak to you soon. Thank you very much.